Hey guys, it's Wendy here with Wendy's Plans, and today I thought I would do another installment of Back to Basics Functional Planning with a Twist. And today I want to go over some habits that I want to work on. So these are things that I want to incorporate into my planner, not necessarily on a weekly basis, but to keep as a tracker. For instance, in my planner, I have um, quarterly priorities, quarterly plans. That's the way this is set up. And so I thought I could break down some of these habits and start tracking them. Now, I could track them here on this yearly tracker. That would work, but I'm kind of thinking I will either do them here on the quarterlies because I'm thinking I can just jot down a quick description and then track them this way. So that's what I am looking at. Now, guys, I filmed this video yesterday and the file was messed up when I went to edit it today. So we're trying this all over again today. Now, the problem is I have been sneezing my head off this morning. So I may have to stop occasionally for the sneezing. And I'm going to apologize if it's kind of choppy looking when we get the final result. So, first habit that I want to talk about is keep my gas tank above a quarter full. Now, what my ultimate goal is to keep my gas tank at a half a tank or more. Now, the reason behind this is I live on the coast. So, especially during the summer months, you need to be prepared. And one of those things is if we have a nor'easter or a hurricane come up the coast, you need to be prepared to um, evacuate. And so it doesn't happen often, but we have had times where the hurricanes have caused so much damage that we can't even get trucks in to fill up the gas stations tanks so that we can get gas. So my goal is to always be prepared that something like that could happen. And so if I always keep gas in my car, then I will know that I can get away if I need to. And if we get a um into a situation like we did during Florence and Fran, that I can still get gas to be able to go and get out. So that is my goal. But I'm not going to just start at a half a tank. I am going to start at a quarter of a tank. And then once I get in that habit of stopping at a quarter of a tank and filling up, then I'm going to back it up to a half a tank. And the minute I hit a half a tank, I get gas. Now, what I have found that I do is that I will see that my gas tank is getting low. And most cars now will say you have X amount of miles till empty. And I know I'm just going to be right here around town that I live in. It's a small town. And I can get to, the grocery store and to any place that I need to go in less than 2 miles. And I'll think, oh, I can do that tomorrow. And then I wait. That is such a bad habit. And I want to get away from that. So I am going to force myself to stop, fill up my tank at a quarter of a tank. Once I get that habit underneath my belt and I know that I'm stopping at a half a tank, then I'm going to put in a half a tank. That is my goal, is to try to keep my tank, always have a half a tank of gas in my car. Second is change my journaling time to the mornings. So I have AM routines and I have PM routines that I do every day. And what I have found is that when I'm doing my PM routine, I'm already through all my PM routine. I'm getting in the bed and I'm like, Wendy, you did not journal. So I have to get back up and do that. And so I thought I would like to try swapping that and do my journaling in the morning, because first thing in the morning, I'm going to sit down at my desk, is one of the things I do, and I review my planner. So while I'm sitting here, I can pull my journal out and sit here and journal in the morning. And I think that's going to be a better process for me. I've been doing that this week and it seems to flow easier in my mind, because my type of journaling is to journal about my day. So when I sit down this morning, I already know what happened yesterday, and I can clearly sit down and articulate in my planner those things. So I think that's what I am going to strive for. 3, stop ordering the same things at restaurants and coffee shops, etc. Now, this is a habit of mine. If I go to a restaurant, and I'm going to give an example of a brewery here in town. It's a cider, and I think it's called Brunswick Beer and Cider Brewery. They have a dish that is a pork chop with potatoes and collards. It is amazing, and I love it. I don't ever get anything else other than that. That's it. They have pizzas. They have um, like fried rice. They have so many things, and that's what I get every single time. I don't deviate. For years, my coffee of choice from Port City, Java, was like an almond joy. And guys, it tasted just like they melted an almond joy and put it in my coffee. I loved it. They only have it sporadically now, and that just it just about killed me when they took it off the everyday menu. And they did bring it back for their 30-year anniversary, and everybody was ordering it. So that should be a clue how popular this coffee is. But it's only on the menu sporadically. So I had to switch out to a different coffee. So now my go-to is black and tan. So, and it's a mocha with espresso and chocolate. Yes, Ghirardelli chocolate. And it's really good. You can get it hot or cold. Well, yeah, most coffees you can. And I do like it, but there again, I'm getting the same thing all over and over and over. So what I want to do is start mixing it up and getting something different every time I go. And I was working at the car dealership earlier this week. I had to take my car back in to get the last thing completed on it. They finally got the part in. And I decided to go to the coffee shop that's across the street, is another car dealership. And beside that is the coffee shop that I go to. And it is called Biddy and Bo's Coffee. And there's a lovely story behind this coffee shop. And I will try to do a separate video for that. But I love this coffee shop. And I always go in because it's a new to me coffee shop. It's been here for years, but it's new to me, as far as going in and buying coffee. And it's just not on my, it's not that it's not on my radar. It's just a little bit further out for me to go. There's so many coffee shops between here and there that I can stop at. So I have been twice to this coffee shop. My go-to when I go to a new coffee shop is a vanilla latte hot. That's just what I get if it's a new coffee shop. I guess it's a way to gauge their coffee. So the first time I went in, I got my usual, and I made a point, because I already had this thought in my head, and I was working on this script for this video, And I said, Wendy, you're going to get something new. And I tried their brown butter chai latte. Guys, that was so good. I normally am not a big chai fan. Oh, it was so good. And I thought, Wendy, see the things that you're missing out on because you don't want to take that chance and try something new. So that is going to be a goal. Instead of having this restaurant, I know I always get this, and this restaurant, I always get that. I'm going to start trying something different. That is going to be something that I push on myself. Number four, I am I'm constantly listening to books on Audible. So if I'm cleaning, I'm listening to Audible. If I'm driving down the road, I'm listening to Audible. It is just my go-to for books. And I have really missed holding a book in my hands and reading, or at least having a book on Kindle and reading it. So my new goal and habit that I want to do is to force myself to physically read a book once a week, or at least read a book from Kindle. So that is going to be my goal. And let's see, Wednesday of this week, I'm filming this on Friday. On Wednesday, I decided you're going to go into our bookstore that's closest to me is Books a Million. And so I thought, I'm going up there and I'm going to buy a book and I'm going to come home and I'm going to read. I spent most of my afternoon doing that. And the book that I got is called Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Guys, I am hooked on this book. It is her true story and it's heart-wrenching, and it's such a well-written book, and I'm halfway through the first day. And I think part of it is the story, and I think part of it is that I was craving reading a book. And so I am going to instill in me to read one book a week that is a physical book of some kind or Kindle. So that is a big goal that I want to achieve. The next one is 1 hour daily without electronics. Again, as I was sitting, I get my best work done sitting in the car dealership, guys. I'm just going to tell you, they have a place that is separated off from where everybody else sits, that if you want to work, it's quiet. You have a table and chair. Um, you can have up to two people at the table. But for me, it's perfect because I can bring that second chair around, keep my bag there so that I can take out what I need to work. And it's quiet. Um, they have free bottles of water and they have coffee, free coffee, but I always go over to the coffee shop. Um, it's just a nice atmosphere just to sit down and work, and there's nobody around you. So as I was sitting there working, I did hear somebody else was listening. I don't know if it was a podcast. Um, I don't know what they were listening to, but I could faintly hear some of the things from their whatever they were listening to. It was not loud by any means, not distracting. But I heard this person say that you should strive to have at least 1 hour a day electronic free. And then as you get acclimated to 1 hour free, then to push it to you can get a good chunk of your day electronic free. So in my mind, I thought that's a really good idea because I'm attached to my phone. One reason is because I listen to Audible. Guys, I listen to Audible nonstop. Um, there have been times when I've listened to a complete book, and I'm not talking a short book. I'm talking one that on Audible is 12 hours, and I have listened to one whole book and started another one. I am attached to my phone constantly. When I don't have my phone in my hand, I have my iPad or I'm creating videos. So I'm constantly connected to something electronic. So, what I am going to do is for 1 hour every day, I'm going to put my phone on silent. I'm not going to pick up anything electronic. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to focus on reading, doing crafts, doing things that I enjoy that I don't do anymore. Maybe it's a day of just getting out and walking without being tethered to my phone or whatever. So that is that is another thing that I'm going to strive to do is to at least create 1 hour free of electronics. Number 6. Now this one is difficult for me to talk about, but I'm just going to just jump right in it and I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm I live by myself, so I never have anybody say, "Wendy, that was such a good job. I'm so glad you did that." Or when your kids say, "Thanks, mom," or my child's grown, my husband has passed away, and it's just me. So there's nobody that ever says, "Oh, you did a great job, Wendy." I always say, "Good job, Wendy." Um, or I berate myself, "Well, why did you put that off? Because you could have just done it." Um, and I thought I never have a good thing to say about myself unless it's that way. And so I need to create one, either affirmations or gratitude, and I need to journal that every day. Every day, I need to pick out something in my day that was good. I don't care if it was, "You cooked dinner today, Wendy." Just something. And so I want to do that every day. Now, the other thing that I have never done is, as kids, there's always something that has created some kind of drama or trauma in your life. Something that happened that stressed you out, that you have carried with you into adulthood. And I feel like there are some instances, and I have talked to my sister, um, and I think I have just listened to a book on Audible that started my brain down this avenue of thinking about these things. And then I picked up the book Nobody's Girl, and they really make you stop and think about some of the things that has happened in your life that you're still carrying with you. And I feel like I just need to have what I would call a secret journal. It's where I can sit down and journal all of this trauma. It, Guys, it's a little dramatic to say trauma. Some things are just things that um, happen that just I haven't let go of. And it's not so much that it was a trauma, um, but resentment, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. Um, but I just need to sit down and journal these things and get it out of my mind, because typically when I journal, I write it and it's kind of like that release valve and it gets that off of my mind. So I think that's what I'm going to do is create that journal. Now, the biggest reasons I have never done this before is because if something were to happen to me, I don't want my child to pick up this journal and be like, "What the heck, Wendy?" Or "What the heck, mom?" And you never told us about these things. Some things I don't feel like my child or my siblings or people that may be in my life at that time, I don't think they need to be reading about it. So I want to create a journal so that if at some point I'm like, okay, I'm over all of this stuff and I've journaled it and I've got it out of my system, if I choose to throw it away, I throw it away. If I choose to leave it, then I leave it. Um, but I need something that's just for myself. Nobody else reads my journals right now, and I don't expect that they will. But it is something about putting sensitive things in a book that anybody can pick up and read that makes me stop from doing it. And so that is going to be part of that too. Number 7, write down every idea or reminder into my notebook for future reference. Now, again, I'm going to pull out my new upcoming planner for 2026. This is going to be the setup for my social media. But I have this big notebook in here, and I'm going to have another notebook like this in with my planner so that if something comes to mind, I can write it down. So I have already done my bucket list. I have done quotes, and I have done my favorite songs, and they're at the back. But what I want to use this for is sometimes I will be driving down the road and I think of something. I have nothing to write it down on. I will pull off the road. I have done that more than one time because I have something that I need to do, or I thought of something and I will stop. But a lot of times I don't have anything to write on. And so, or not that I don't have anything to write on, but I don't want to mess up my planner page or something silly like that. So I want a notebook that I can stop on the side of the road and write that idea down. Or if I'm getting ready for bed, I'm in there, I'm reading or whatever, and I have this idea pop in my mind. A lot of times I'm not going to get up. I will just say, oh, I'll remember that in the morning. Guys, I never remember it in the morning. Or, oh, I need to go do this, or I need to go pick up this from the pharmacy, or all of these ideas that I have when I'm going to bed that I don't want to jump up and do. I want them in this book so that when I say, I don't have a video idea this week, I can go back and look and say, oh, yeah, I did say I was going to do that. That's what I want. And I want to put down every idea, every thought that I have that maybe it's I want to get a clock for another room, or I want to, anything that comes to my mind, I can write it down and then I can go back and say, what was it I wanted? So that I know what it was. Because, guys, if I don't, I forget it. So that's what I want to do. The last thing that I have gotten written right now is if my B6 planner, which is my new planner here, this is my B6, it is a lot smaller than my, let's put this like this so you can see. It's a lot smaller than my A5. So my thought process was, if my B6 planner is too small, I'm going to turn around and order it in an A5 and then I will repurpose my B6 into a gratitude journal. And my thoughts are, if I don't like this planner, I can turn this into a gratitude planner. I can just write this way. So I can put what I'm grateful for each day and just write about it on each day. And I think that would be awesome. As soon as Sterling Inks gets their new planners in, I may just go ahead and order the A5 if she has any, and then repurpose my B6 for that. I haven't decided yet. It just depends on when she gets her planners in. But that is something that I want to do. In the past, when I have just said, I'm done with this planner, I did it when I switched from Erin Condren to Hobonichi. I just stopped that planner. I never went back and touched it, and I moved forward with my new planner. And guys, I can see the sun has changed positions, but we're almost done. Um, and just left it. This year, I switched from Hobonichi into Plans by Just Scribble. I've not gone back to the Hobonichi and touched that planner. So instead of just leaving it there and not using it, which is a waste, I want to repurpose that one if it's too small. I want to make sure that I repurpose that for something beneficial to me. Guys, I don't know if this is something that you think about sometimes, is what can I do to make things better for myself? And not necessarily wait till the end of the year or the beginning of the new year and say I'm going to do a resolution and this is because guys, if I do that, it doesn't work. I don't keep up with it. So I'm thinking if I just start this now, this is habits that I can build upon right now and incorporate them into next year. Plus, I can just keep a running list of the habits that I want to develop. As I do those things, I can check it off my list that yes, I've incorporated that and I'm doing it. But I can just keep a continuing list of these are the habits that I want to do. So I hope this resonates with you guys, and I hope you're enjoying this series, Back to Basics, Functional Planning with a Twist. I hope you're enjoying it and you're getting something out of it. And guys, until next time, bye bye.